What's a modern-day scam that's become normalized and we don't realize it's a scam anymore? Employers insisting that employees not talk about their salaries and job listings, not posting salaries. Credit scores. They started in 1989 and are designed to encourage debt. Hidden fees, especially in the medical and hospitality industries. The fact that you cannot just buy software now. You buy a subscription and never actually own anything. Admin fees for completely automated services. Raise the price of a product a day before they go on sale so that people think they are getting it at a discount. Buying tech devices for premium prices, then still having to pay subscriptions to make them actually do what they're supposed to do. Convenience fee. Well, it's not convenient, it's the only option. Can you make it less convenient, and I keep the $5? Edit. Yes, cinema tickets can be bought in person. I was more piggybacking off that in regards to things like concerts or sport events that no longer sell at the box office. Medical insurance not covering dental or vision. Like, it's all connected, guys. If you have a badly abscessed tooth, you're likely going to need medical care, even if you have dental that covers the extraction or root canal or whatever. Instagram influencers using their kids as bait to advertise products. Not a monetary scam, but putting the majority of the responsibility of stopping climate change, of fixing the environment, onto the normal people. I've worked in the food industry, and I can tell you for a fact that it doesn't mean dick if I sort my rubbish when every day a single, small-scale factory is throwing out literal tons of wasted product, not to mention the energy wasted in making that product. Tons of shit falls on the floor. Perfectly usable food but not pretty enough to sell just gets tossed like it's nothing, and even in my usual sector, engineering. The amount of metal that's wasted and the liters upon liters of grease and oil just fucking everywhere would stun you. Why the heck am I putting in the effort to save power and make less waste when these barely regulated companies are getting away with this? It's so disheartening. Diamonds. There's loads of them, but apparently they're rare, so sell for major stacks. Hustle culture. Working a 90-hour weeks and having no life outside of work is not healthy, nor is it sustainable. Unpaid internships. Nobody else mentioned so far. Printer cartridges. Edit. Production costs about $20 or $30, selling for $15, sometimes up to $35. Insurances. The only fucking business in the world who will fight you claw and teeth to deny you the product you have been paying for years. Go get. Planned obsolescence. Printers are most notorious for this. Some brands I had this long ago with HP, if I remember correctly, build their hardware in such a way that it will stop working after an amount of time. Typically, this time is after the legal warranty periods of whatever region they're selling in. The purpose is simple: force the customer to bring their hardware in for expensive repairs or even buy a new piece altogether. Nowadays you notice the same thing with batteries as well. Surely nobody believes it's a coincidence that battery life has become so terrible in recent years, while batteries are also no longer easily replaceable. Juice cleanse detox tea. Your liver and kidneys do that already, and it's free. Chocolate bars becoming a smaller size and are still charged the same price, and/or increased price. Free apps. They take so much info that they should be paying for. Buy a car so you can get a job to pay off your car. You have to go into debt if you want to be able to go around in your own city. We can't afford to run buses, we can't afford bike lanes, but there's infinite money to build freeway interchanges and add lanes to suburban arterials. Buy a car, buy gasoline. Oh shit, the environment. Buy a car, we'll put a giant lithium battery in it. The important thing is that you buy a car. The 5-day work week and having today's to ourselves, if we're lucky. Digital copies of pretty much anything. You literally do not own it in any way, shape, or form. Video games. I say this as a gamer. The fact that microtransactions got so normalized is sad, especially if it's in the form of loot boxes. I cannot feel genuinely excited for any game anymore. Beauty industry. All of it. They purposefully make people insecure about their appearances to sell countless beauty products that we wouldn't need otherwise. Since no one else has said it, the drug war and the for-profit prison system. How can we be winning the drug war when pharmaceutical companies are the biggest pushers out there and their CEOs don't see any prison time for killing thousands? Meanwhile, they bust some dude with like some shrooms or some cannabis and acid tabs and they act like they took down public enemy number one. They just want to keep modern-day slavery alive. Social media, Reddit included. The algorithms are built to manipulate you into participating and getting addicted. Then your participation addiction is sold to the highest bidder advertisers. The Netflix dog pretty much summed it up. If you are not paying for a product or service, you are the product or service. It's a racket of the most sinister kind. We're all essentially giving away our time to generate revenue for mega corporations, and we receive nothing in return. Pre-ordering games. You pay money to get a game on launch without even knowing if it's good or even playable, and most of the time you can find the game in stores pretty easily the same or next day, and if you pre-order online sometimes you don't even get it the same day. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, Black Friday all exist and were created for economic stimulus and to make you spend money. Pet rent and security deposits. I don't have an apartment, but a lot of my friends do. I find it ridiculous you have to pay $600 plus in deposits and fees, and then your dog is expected to go out and get a job for $1,000 to $100 more a year. In my youth I had a lot of apartments. Despite leaving them spotless, I never once got my security deposits back and I never had animals. To me, they are just excuses to rob tenants of more money. Hedge funds shorting American businesses to bankruptcy for profit. Buying razors or replacement blades. It's pretty much cheaper to buy a new razor than get a pack of replacement blades at twice the price or more. Same goes with it's cheaper if you buy the type scams you see with certain bottled drinks. Dating apps. Think about it from an economics perspective. If you succeed on a dating app, then they lose a customer. So it's in a dating app's best interest to keep you single and miserable and desperate for as long as possible, so you'll give them more money. There is no economic incentive for dating apps to ever work. Even though more people meet their significant other via an app than ever before. I got lucky on one and met my long-term girlfriend on one that wasn't actually monetized yet, but the experience on dating apps in general were awful, and I think dating would have been a better experience if dating apps weren't the norm nowadays. Doing more than your job title entails in order to earn a promotion. Oh, you're amazing at what you do, but in order for us to consider you for a higher position you need to prove yourself. You can do this by working 3 other people's jobs for a year with the same pay, and then we will allow you to have the title with a 2% pay increase because it's considered a lateral move. Property transfer tax. City Hall moves the title of your home from one to another. A 5-minute admin task and costs 5% of your home's value. Around here, that's $25K for 5 minutes. NFTs. Some know it's a scam, but others are shilling out thousands for a literal link to a JPEG. It's probably one of the most easiest things to scam people out of or gain money from. The lottery. That money is obviously not going towards public schools. I always reply this, and I always get downvoted. The American dream used to be that you could get a good job out of college and the company would take care of you, pension, benefits, PTO. You could buy a reliable car and raise 2.5 kids on a single-person income. Now you need 2 incomes to afford a small apartment because the bank won't loan you the money for a lower payment mortgage, but it's okay because you just need to work a little harder. Pick up a second job and a side hustle, and maybe you can see your sulfur monoxide for the few minutes before you both fall asleep. I to take the downvotes because it's a con and all of America has fallen for it. In second place is DLC. I grew up with the NES. Yes, I'm old, and they used to sell Gasp complete games. Now it's all about how many add-ons they can sell you and how fast. There are some that are worth it, but it's the exception, not the rule. Edit. To people telling me I'm wrong about the American dream, I grew up in the early 80s. This is what was pitched to me growing up. Go to college, get a job, work it for 40 years even though you hate it, retire and spend your golden years fishing. Go watch some movies from the 80s and you'll see that the myth of the Nuclear family was alive and well back then. My father was a computer programmer who started in the early 70s and stayed with the same company for 25 years until another company came along and offered him a bunch more money than he was making. He stayed with them until he could retire, and now lives in a gated community in Florida with a Corvette. My mom was a stay-at-home mom who never had to work. She'd take on odd jobs like watching the neighbors' kids, but never had a real job after she got married. My friend's dad got in with the railroad union back in the 70s. Worked his way up to engineer, had a house with a wife and 3 cars, one of which was a Stingray Corvette, retired when he hit 60 with a full ride. Bought up some land in South Carolina and had a house custom built to retire in. Spends his retirement wrenching on older clunkers and restoring them. I just missed the cutoff for these things. I know people 5 years older than me who went to college, got nice cushy jobs, and are set for life. I did all these things, got a job, and got the millennial college debt, job insecurity, lack of retirement, and spotty health care. Hell, I'm probably in the same generation as a lot of your parents.